So a couple of weeks ago, I got sent the 3 pulls and springs for the hub upgrade in this Bontrager hub. So standard, it comes 54 point engagement, which is quite good. My DT Swiss hub comes 18 point engagement as the standard, which is terrible. So I've upgraded that to 54, which is as good as you can get out of the DT Swiss style ratchet hub. So I'm at 54 with that one, which is good, much better than it was at 18. This one standard 54 is an excellent hub. I was always happy with it. Spins with very little resistance. I've got a bent disc at the moment, but you can still see there's hardly any effort. It just goes and goes and goes. Even though it's rubbing, it's only a slight rub, but there's a bit of rub on the disc. You can see it when it stops. But the hub's excellent, even with this 108 point engagement now. So much less free play between your cranks in your pedal. So when you're going through rough stuff, you don't get as much slap back when that chain tensions or whatever's going on there. I'm not sure exactly what goes on, but when you go through rough stuff, you get a lot of that with little engagement. So the more engagement you get, the more that eliminates that slapping. So that's kind of what you get. But with this, you've got so little space, free space for it to develop any momentum to give you that slap, which is really good. So the 108 tooth, in comparison to the 54, with the 54 it's definitely much better than the 18. With the 108 it's obviously better again, but it's not as noticeable, it's not as noticeably better as it is going from the 18 to the 54. So if you've got an 18 tooth or 18 point engagement hub that you can upgrade, I'd definitely recommend upgrading it when you've got the money. This 108 upgrade, like I said, there's not much more resistance, very little resistance really, spinning on the hub, so there's no problems there. Pedaling up hills, so when you get to more technical climbs, if you're a technical climber, you'll love better engagement for sure. So when you're coming into a spot that you got to kind of have your pedals level, or knee the pedal down or all the way up to avoid rock strikes, but you still need to gather momentum through the rocks, you can kind of backpedal and get straight on the power pretty much straight away. So if you're coming in and you don't want to be pushing this foot down into a rock, you can backpedal a little bit and the power's right there. You have to backpedal and then go 10 degrees through your through that revolution to get power back, so you're almost back down on that rock again. You got to counteract for that and go higher. Whereas with these higher engagements, it's right there when you need it. So it's definitely much better for climbing. So the XC guys, the guys who do a lot of technical climbing, all going to love that upgrade for sure. For descending, the power's always there. It's ever so slightly smoother than the 54, I guess. Couldn't really differentiate that amount of slap. I know it's a little bit less, but I think going to 54 gets rid of the majority of that slap anyway. So a little bit better for that as well. No resistance. The only thing I'd say that is kind of a negative about it is I'm not sure how precision these pulls, like the design of this Bontrager hub where the pulls sit, how precision it is. So when you're going through, when you're clicking back ever so slightly, you can hear them falling into place, falling into their lock positions ever so slightly off time, so they're not completely timed exactly right. So what that means is when I go to get on the gas after a rough section, sometimes it's not quite, or after cornering and the chain's gone loose or whatever, or the you're in that little purgatory zone between being engaged and floating around and falling into the engagement behind it. So what happens is it feels like it's not quite in, and then you get a tiny crunch sometimes, which feels like it's going to eventually be doing damage, especially if you just go to try and power it on relentlessly. You could really tear something up in there. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm just being a little more careful when I'm on the gas, whereas when it's just the 3 pulls with the 54 point engagement, there's never any of that. It always drops in sync, and it's always pretty much perfect timing. So I think just the design of it might be, the tolerances might be just a tiny bit out, but outside of that, excellent for climbing. No more resistance than the 54, or very little more resistance than the 54. If there is, it's really, I don't really notice it. It's getting on the pedals through after a rough stuff. You got to be a little bit easier on it, but the engagement's there right away. So there's no slap, there's no crank, and then you're hitting where the force needs to be, and then starting your pedal spin. So if it was more precision, there'd be zero negative effects from it. So, but because it's not quite precise, I think it's just got me guessing a little bit when I'm going to put the power down. So I do like it for sure. I do like the upgrade, but if you're thinking, oh, you know, I've got the 54, I want to upgrade it to the 108. There's not as much difference between a 54 to the 108 as there was from the 18 to the 54. So if you've got a 54, be happy with it. But if you want that extra zing out of your hub, so it's definitely a different noise. More engagement, more zing. If you don't care about that stuff, the 54 is definitely enough for you. So big shout out to Luke. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for sending me that stuff. Really good. And it's great to get my, just sink my teeth into it to see how it actually feels, because I was pretty curious and, considered buying it, but they were kind of expensive, and, just out of the blue, came to the party and sent me some goodies. So thanks a lot. And on top of that, thanks to everybody for watching my videos. It's so good. I've just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can't say enough. Really, really, really gracious for the support. Any questions, any comments, anything you want to ask me, anything you want to tell me, anything you want me to change, things you want me to do, just hit me up, send me a message, comment on the videos, Instagram, MTB Telly, Facebook, MTB Telly. You know where I am, so hit me up, and if you see me on the trails, holler for sure. We'll go for a ride. Thanks, guys.